Hello, I'm Kathy and I'm your hostess. Today, what we're going to be talking about on Conversations with Kathy is the definition of grief as described in the Grief Recovery Handbook. Now, grief is a neglected and misunderstood process. So here are two definitions. Grief is the normal and natural reaction to loss of any kind. These feelings are normal and natural. We've been socialized to believe that our feelings of grief are not normal or natural. They're powerful emotions that we've been taught to neglect, to stuff down. Also, grief is the conflicting feelings caused by the end of or change in a familiar pattern of behavior. What do we mean by that? Here's an example. Someone that we love has been suffering with an illness for a very long time, and they're in significant pain. When that person dies, it often comes with a sense of relief that the person is no longer in pain, but it also, we can have those conflicting feelings that we miss them and we wish that they weren't gone. We can feel relief and sadness. Those are conflicting feelings. Now, grief is not limited to the death of a loved one. Often, common life experiences are not seen as grieving events. One thing that is really important to note, that we grieve for the loss of all relationships we deem significant. And they're emotional. We care about a person, place, or thing. And I know you think, well, can you grieve the loss of a thing? Yes, you can. You can grieve the loss of a place. You can grieve the loss of a person and place or thing. Now, I'm going to give you some examples because I've talked about the fact that there are over 40 different losses that we can experience over our lifetime. And generally, one of the most common loss experiences that we will have as children is the loss of a pet or the loss of a grandparent. Both are significant. Both are important. Both cause us grief. We cannot compare either event. And we can't say to somebody we know how they feel. Even if I lost my grandmother and you lost your grandmother, and I lost a dog and you lost a dog, we don't feel the same because our grief is unique to the relationship we had with the person, place, or thing. Our grief and the intensity of our grief is directly related to the relationship we had with the person, place, or thing that we lost. Now, I'm going to give you a list of a few things that might not be associated with grief normally. Death of a pet. A lot of people think like it's not a big deal. Just replace it. It's not that easy. And it comes right down to the relationship you have with the pet and how you're going to feel and how you're going to grieve. But one thing we know for sure is that all grief is felt at 100%. And all grief is unique to each one of us. And we will all experience loss. Next, moving. Starting school. Death of a former spouse. Marriage. Graduation. End of addictions. Major health changes. Retirement. Financial changes, either positive or negative. Holidays. Legal problems. Empty nest. Now, I've mentioned a bunch of things that you can actually see when I say that, or hear when I say that there are conflicting feelings. There's an end or a change in a familiar pattern of behavior, like starting school, marriage, graduation, end of addiction, empty nest, legal problems, retirement. All of those things have an end or a change to a familiar pattern of behavior. There is nothing wrong with you if you are experiencing grief after going through any of these events. And there are, like I said, over 40. If it feels like a loss to you and you are grieving, we will honor that. Honor where you are. There is nothing wrong with you. Grief is the normal and natural reaction to a significant emotional loss.